Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you miss any of our reviews.
And if you click the link in the description, you can get a free 30-day trial with Audible if you like listening to audiobooks. And then there's a $10 credit if you use the Rakuten link when you shop online.
Let's get to it. Ready to Love season finale. We are down to 4 couples.
Yeah.
We have 4 couples, Vernicia and Joelle, Amber and Chris, Liz and Jason, and Kyra and AJ. We're down to them, and they get to make their final decision night. But before they do that, they got to meet family.
They have to meet the family.
They got to meet the family.
Yes. And so we see Vernicia with Joelle meets with Vernicia's family.
Yes.
Her stepfather, her mom, and her daughter, her oldest daughter.
Yeah, and what Vernicia said was that she usually don't do this. She usually don't show people, bring guys to her family. She's really concerned about her kids. She want to make sure everything is right before she bring a guy in. And, you know, I understand with being on this show, it makes you do this. You know, they only known each other for a little while. And in everyday life, she may not have done this. It might have been too early. You know, but she brings them in there, and everybody likes Joelle.
Yeah, but her mom goes in.
Mom goes in.
What are your intentions for her?
How your kids gonna mesh with her kids, and then y'all gonna end up having 5 kids. How you gonna be able to spend time? And her dad was like, you know, she bossy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He told he was like, she bossy.
She bossy. And
Joelle's basically like, I can handle her. I know how to handle her.
I know how to handle my baby. You know, but nah, it was good to see them in the interaction between mom, dad, stepdad, and Vernicia's daughter. You know, they had the conversation, and Joelle answered the questions correctly.
Yeah.
He was willing, he was open, and he was, you know, just forthright. That's who he is. And Vernicia was pleased with how things went, and mom was like, "Oh, you welcome to." Dad was like, "When y'all get married?" Dad was sold already on Joelle. It's like, okay, this guy he interviews well. And
we want to add that, like Vernicia said, it's her stepdad. But he's been in her life for 30 years, so she's, you know, that's her dad.
Yeah, that's her dad,
and she values his opinion.
And so, you know, Joelle answered the questions. It was no. Didn't throw you a curveball here. I didn't think we'd get a curveball. I didn't think anybody would not like Joelle. Because I think everybody likes Joelle. You know what I'm saying? And so Vernicia was happy that Joelle kind of won her family over.
Yes. And then we see Vernicia meet with Joelle's family. His sister, BB Baby. And his niece, who is BB's daughter, Butter Baby. And Vernicia was like, I have heard so much about Butter Baby because his niece helps him with the kids.
Yeah, she helps with the kids. She helps take care of the kids when he needs things done or he's working late. She's watching the kids, and so he was excited. I mean,
and Vernicia was excited to meet them because she heard so much about him.
She heard so much about him, but the word territorial came up again. Yeah,
but before we get there, I thought it was cute that Joelle's sister was like, "Oh, you're pretty. You know, she's pretty. You know, very good looking." And she was like, oh, "Okay." You know, they was like giving each other kudos.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was.
They're all beautiful women.
Oh, beautiful. Everybody was nice. You know, everybody was pleasant. In this situation with them, I think. You know, she said, "I heard so much about you." That means Joelle talks about Vernicia all the time.
Yeah.
He shares information about their conversations, or he shares information about how he's feeling. And again, the concern was that did he think he jumped head over heels that quick? You know, and you know, I can't remember if it was Butter or, you know, whatever, the mom, BB. They would say, "Isn't that the same thing you did with your wife?"
I think it was Butter.
Yeah. Same thing you did with your wife. So guess it was, and she's putting it on thick. So Joelle is in love. Not even say he's in love. Joe is infatuated with this young lady, and he is really likes Vernicia.
Well, BB's thing was that she got that from Vernicia. Like she's like head over heels. And she was kind of leery about that. And so yeah, Butter was like, well, it was like that with Courtney, which was his his wife that passed away. And she said, I like her. She said, I think it's sincere. I think, you know, she really likes you.
Right, and you know, she is territorial. And Vernicia was like, I am territorial too. And again, because this is
and BB didn't have no problem with it.
Had no problem with it because this is what she has. Look, don't mess with my man. I'm with him. Don't deal with it. And guess what? I'm kind of staking my claim to Joelle. And you saw that at the beginning of the episode, the beginning of the season, that she like, you know, I think I'm gonna like Joelle. We're gonna be all right together. And she didn't really. We didn't see her really mess with anybody else, or the show didn't show us with her with other people. We know that she went out on date with other people, but it's always been her and Joelle. And when we even get to them later on, they said that they talk about it just being her and him.
The one thing I want to say, I feel like we got cheated from the whole interaction with Vernicia and his sister and niece. It was very short, and I was like, I know they talk longer than that. Yeah. And the other thing I noticed was, I don't know if it was editing or whatever, but when Vernicia came in, like, she didn't greet them. Like, hey girl, you know. Yeah,
it was kind of basic. And I think that was a little bit on the editing side of it. I think, you know, that they knew of each other. They had communication between each other before, and it's just that southern type of love and draw that they made her feel comfortable. It was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're here for this. And what kind of hard questions could you ask? I mean, the kids was the biggest hard question. She already know that he's been married before. She already know that he has 3 kids. I mean, two kids, sorry.
Yeah,
and
Vernicia has 3.
And Vernicia has 3 kids. I mean, and they already know that he's head over heels. There was nothing else.
Right.
Because you think about it, we saw the Friends earlier in the season. I don't think anything different from what the Friends could pull out between them that the family could do.
Right.
You know, so Vernicia and Joelle, let's go ahead and just skip to the end with them.
What? Like you said, I mean, obviously they choose each other.
They choose each other.
You know, she kind of touches on, you know, I've always chosen you. He talks about the fact that I had my eyes on you from the start. They've been checking each other out from the beginning. And
then they both are committed to letting this thing and see where this thing goes.
Absolutely.
Whether it goes to marriage or whether it goes to a long-term relationship and stays that way. You know, one thing I'm going to save that because we know that I think people get mixed up with this show. Because Ready to Love
we talked about that.
Is for Ready to Love. Ready to Love is not Married at First Sight.
Right.
Ready to Love is, okay, we're dating and we're going to be together. We're committed to being in a relationship. Let's see how this relationship goes and not about marriage.
Yeah, the choosing you is I choose to go further with this connection that we've made.
Right.
And, you know, commit to like dating you and getting to know you some more. And Joelle said that, you know, we'll get to know each other some more and feel each other out some more. So yeah.
Yeah, because I want you to remember that when we get to this other couple, the last person we're going to talk about, because again, it's really confusing to me. But again, Joelle and Vernicia chose each other. I don't think there's any surprise there.
No. So do we want to go to the other one that's not any surprise?
Yeah.
Chris and Amber.
Let's go to Chris.
I feel like there's no surprises there.
Yeah.
There's no surprises there.
So what we see is Chris takes Amber and Amber meets with Chris's brothers.
We know 2 brothers.
His 2 brothers. We know Chris got a big family, y'all. And we remember from the early in the season, Chris said he got 11 siblings. You know, so we see Chris meet Chris's family, and these guys come guns a-blazing.
Oh, did they?
They come out with the big guns like, hold up for a minute. What are your intentions with my brother? You know he was on last season. You know what happened last season. We just want to make sure that you don't do that to him.
Right.
And like, what are you going to do with Chris?
Right. And she's basically like, you know, you have to trust my actions. That basically that I mean what I say. That I'm going to be real about it and honest. And, you know, she was, I think she reassured them that she was going to take care of Chris's heart. Yeah. And she wasn't going to do him dirty. Because that was their whole thing. It was like, look, this is my brother. Yeah, I can't have nobody do him wrong.
He already been hurt once.
Yeah.
You know, he's been hurt once on TV. We can't afford you, or we don't want you, and he can't afford you to hurt him again. Right. So we want to make sure that your heart is pure and that you're treating Chris the way Chris needs to be treated.
Yes.
And I think after the way she answered, which I didn't expect her to answer any other way, she's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? She's an attorney, so she's going to give you the status quo, the right answer. But I really think her answers were genuine. That when she talked to him and when she talked to the brothers about Chris, it was like, this is who I like. This is who I want to be with. We have great conversation. We have great chemistry. I didn't really choose him day one. I really didn't choose him day one, but at the same time, we grew to like each other, and we really appreciate each other now. Because remember, from day one, Amber was hooked on Kissing Boy Troy.
Right.
Amber liked Kissing Boy Troy, but Chris stepped in. Chris was consistent, and Chris made it to the end with Amber. And I think that's what was great for her, was that, you know what, he's been consistent and he's been there for me all the time. And so she was able to answer the questions from the brother.
Yeah. And so Chris meets with Amber's family. It was her brother, her sister, and then her friend, who's like a sister to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and just the same. They asked Chris the same, what are you going to do with Amber? How are you guys going to work out? How are you going to handle her career? Mm-hmm. How are you going to handle her working all the time? How are you going to handle her being a boss? What are you going to do when she has long nights at the office? And you have to be by yourself.
And how do you help her take care of her self-care?
Yeah, self-care.
Yeah, it was like, because she's a hard worker and she needs to come home and wind down and focus back on herself. And Chris was like, I don't have no problem doing that, keeping her grounded and helping her treat herself. And
being on your KG Smooth.
Yeah.
KG Smooth, the Midnight Lover.
But he was like, she's a goddess.
Yes.
I'm gonna treat her like the goddess that she is. Basically like shower her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gave it again. I think when you listen to Chris's answers and when you listen to how Chris and Amber interact with each other, you can tell, okay, Chris is in this for the long haul. Mm-hmm. First of all, he's grateful that he made it this far.
Yes.
Right? He's grateful that
he said when it came to the
time. He's grateful that he made it this far. Grateful that he had a second opportunity, a second chance at love. And he was grateful that he found somebody who loves him as much and can. I don't want to say
not even love. We don't want to say love.
That tolerate, that want to be.
Greatly likes him.
Greatly likes him.
She's like
she
him.
like him. They greatly can be together right now, and they can grow into that. So there are some of the issues there with Chris and Amber, or the relationship that they have.
Yeah, and so like we said, in the end they meet up, and. Chris again tells her, I appreciate being with you, the goddess that you are, and how, you're just beautiful. And, he just showers her like, I choose you if you'll have me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, well, of course I have you. And he put some lips on her.
Yeah.
He gives her some lips. They kiss each other. And
that SRP might not be lasting too long.
Yeah. Look,
they got a touch on that.
The SRP may not be lasting too long. He may not. That retention program, whatever.
Yeah, in case you missed it, that semen retention program that Chris said
that Chris says he on for right now. Because Amber said she gonna make sure he don't stay on that for a long time.
Yeah. So again, we feel like that was obvious.
Yeah.
We knew they would pick each other. And I'm excited to see them on a reunion.
I'm excited to see them on a reunion. I'm excited to see who's still together on a reunion. Right now, we have two couples that we know they're gonna be on a reunion. We know they're all going to be on a reunion, but two couples that we know that were together. Vernicia and Joelle. Mm-hmm. We have Amber and Chris. Mm-hmm. And so, as we get ready to go to the third one,
we see, we're going to do Liz and Jason.
Yeah, we do Liz and Jason.
Yes, please. And so, Liz meets Jason's mom. Mm-hmm. And remember, Jason said that his mom is like a female him.
Yeah.
And she is ready to examine Miss Liz.
She's ready to go. His mom was, she was ready to go in.
She was like, yeah, we're going to see about this.
We're going to see about this. We're about to see about this.
But Miss Liz came in. She came in regal as usual. Mm-hmm. Greeted mom. And I think even before she asked a question, I think mom was like, oh, okay.
Because she came in like a principal.
Not a principal.
She came in all astute. She came in classy. She came in like a first lady.
That's what people try to say.
Can we say first lady? She came in like a first lady. Mm-hmm. She came in like, but not Liz showed who she really was. I mean, and that's what she is. She's sweet, and she was willing to answer the questions that Jason's mom brought up. And there was, how do the finance question came up?
Yes.
Finance was one of the issues. She said finance breaks up a lot of marriages. Mm-hmm. Finances destroy a lot of marriages. How are you going to be able to handle Jason, and how are you going to be able to handle finance?
And I like Liz's answer, because Liz was like, She almost hit scripture. I know how to be a base and how to abound. She said, you know, I've been at a point where I'm well-to-do. She said, but I've also been in a place where I didn't have so much. So I know how to deal in either situation. And I know how to handle it.
Yeah, she said my parents kept me rooted and grounded. So I was in private school, but I also had to, you know, get some money from here to do some things. So she understood how to manage both avenues. And so with that being said, I think they're willing to commit to talk things out. And Mom saw that Liz was like, you know what? She might be all right for my baby. That she may be okay. That she's willing to allow Jason to lead.
Yes, Liz made a very good impression on Jason.
That she allowed Jason to lead. And that was one of the questions too. You know, how do you let you're such a boss baby in this instance? You're such a boss chick. How do you allow him to lead? And
I like Liz's answer to the question. She was like, I've never been married before, so I'm not basing this off experience. But she said the only way I could figure out how I would allow him to lead is, you know, pray about it and be led for direction, to get direction of how to.
Right.
Because not just let him lead, but how do you lead him too?
Yeah, how you lead him.
Because sometimes wives have to do that with husbands. You know, you lead him and make him think that he's leading.
you make him think he's leading, but also without breaking his spirit.
Yes.
Because there's a way that there's a fine-tuned way to do it. And guess what? Women aren't the only one that do that. Men do that as well. Men lead women without trying to destroy them or try to break their will or try to embarrass or humiliate or insult their intelligence. So you have to be in marriage. You have to do it skillfully, where you try to you and your mate are coming together. Not that you're lying to them, but there's sometimes where you listen. Sometimes when you have to maneuver. Sometimes you gotta have faith. Sometimes you gotta be able to be that best friend, the enemy, and all that in order to get the marriage to work where it needs to be. So you have to be able to move in those realms. And she gave Mom the answer that she wanted to hear.
She did.
And so I think Liz, she got a standing ovation for Mom. It was pleasing. Mom was like, you know what? I'm happy for her. And Jason even smiled like, whew, yes. You know, it was good. Now, my boy Jason, when we get to Jason to meet Liz's family, right? We got Liz's sisters that are there and her brother-in-law. All right? And so Jason comes in and, you know, she's like, my family rough. They're gonna do things. They're gonna be grilling Jason. Jason comes in. I like how the brother-in-law just stood up, shook his hand. They dapped it up. Hey, this is how we're gonna go. I like, oh, you know what? Real gentleman right there. They dapped up. But then Jason comes. He's like, we sitting at the table. Did anybody say grace? He was like, anybody pray? No, dog. They were like, prayer.
Well, go ahead and pray.
Well, we'll go ahead and pray then. And Jason says a nice little prayer, you know. I'm not going to say, it was blessing the food, man. It wasn't like he was laying hands on the sick. And he was blessing. You know what? He was blessing the food. So, but nah, he blessed the food. And that really was, and Liz was impressed. Her family members was impressed. Because Jason was willing to start things with prayer and with God.
Yeah, and they even had a little conversation about scripture.
Like, what's your favorite scripture?
What's your favorite scripture? And I think he mentioned Psalm 27.
And Matthew 13. You know, he talked about those. So that's, again, Liz comes from a church background.
Yes.
Her family's in church. She's been there. That's what she's talked about since day one, being celibate, being in church, being loving God, living holy, wanting a man to be godly and to walk. You know, we talk about Alexis all the time and her godly standards. Liz also had those type of standards that she wanted in a man as well, and she found that in Jason, and so they can grow together in the godliness that they want to have. And so again, in a relationship, I want to say that because in a relationship, they're not to the next level yet, but they're in a relationship, you know. So that was sweet. Her family really, you know, liked Jason.
Yes, they did.
You know, no wave, no problem, no major big questions. It was just, okay, we like you.
And so in the end, we see Liz arrive to the spot first, and she's waiting out on the dock for Jason to come out and meet her. She's got her back turned, and you know, he walks up, and she turns around as he's saying, I want you to close your eyes and turn around. So she already kind of had her eyes opening. Yeah. And we know the thing he brought her a single white rose before. When then he's got a bouquet of white roses, and I feel like that's all he had to do for her. She was like on cloud nine, like, oh my
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, she was sold.
Oh yeah.
He was
absolutely
done. He started something. He had to bring white roses all the time though.
Yeah, he was like, well, let me start like this. He gave her a kiss off the top.
Then he gave her another kiss.
Well, yeah, and then of course.
Then he gave her another kiss.
He said
he couldn't stop kissing her.
He said, you know, I choose you. And she says, you know, I choose you.
I choose you.
And yeah, like you said, he was just like, he couldn't stop kissing.
He couldn't stop kissing.
But she couldn't stop kissing him either.
Yeah, they was excited. I mean, she ain't had kiss. I ain't say she ain't kissed nobody in a long time, but I'm just saying, those kisses were sensual kisses. I think she stays celibate until they get married.
I think so.
I think she might. Are you still holding on?
I'm yet holding on.
I'm yet holding on.
I think she's gonna be yet holding on.
I think she's gonna be yet holding on. But you know, Jason and Liz both commit to each other. So now we get to the couple, which we saw. We said last week that it was a little shaky anyway. That we wasn't sure if that was the right decision that AJ was going to make. But nonetheless, AJ brings Kyra to meet his mama. And he said, my mama don't play.
She don't.
Mama was already in the seat. Mama was already looking her up and down.
Prepared.
Looking her up and down when she walked in. Matter of fact, Mama and AJ was having a conversation.
When Kyra walked in.
When Kyra walked in. Mama stopped. If you looked at her, she looked at Kyra like...
Kyra looked like she had been horseback riding that day. She had her whole horseback riding outfit on. Her equestrian outfit.
She was ready, but Mama was ready to throw down. So Mama getting in there. She started talking about, you know, he don't finish projects.
Well, no, that he has, you know, he has a lot of projects. He's a self-taught piano player.
Yeah.
You know, he does the music thing. He does this and does that. And he's like, you know, she said, I want to make sure that, basically, that he going to stick with it.
And that you're in another project. I think, again, his mom, she know that AJ doesn't stick around for anything. That if he's going to finish it, he has to finish it early. And he has to finish it often, or he has to finish it quickly. And I think Mama knows that, because that's why she was asking the question, like, are you going to stick around? Are you going to finish this? Are you going to be with this young lady? Or are you going to get tired and move on to something else?
And the Mama even says, I want you to handle her heart. Take care of her and be concerned about her feelings.
Yeah.
That's what the Mama said.
Wait, Mama don't say that unless...
To AJ, not to Kyra. Not Kyra, take care of my son. But son, if you're going to be with this lady, take care of her.
Which means Mama know that AJ don't do right. When your mama talking to you and there's other people in the room, she's telling you, yo, you better watch him. Because he ain't going to do what's right. And I believe that right there scared Kyra off.
Yeah.
That right there messed with, like, oh, hold on for a minute. And Mama got on AJ a little bit too about the whole dating situation where he ain't paid for the meal.
Yeah, because they talked about that. She was like, yeah, you know that is a deal breaker with me. Yeah. You had to pay for the meal? Nah,
we ain't raising him like that.
He was like, Mama.
You know, so she heard his mama basically chastise him and get on him for not finishing through or following through situation. Which in this case, to me, were major red flags for Kyra. Where Kyra was like, oh, dang, hold up for a minute.
But I think that added on to the fact that Kyra introduced AJ, which again she says she doesn't really do that much neither.
Yeah.
She doesn't introduce people to her family, but she introduced AJ to her mom and then her best friend.
Her best friend.
And man, her best friend was like scrutinizing, was like, okay, so I see we've met your representative. I don't know if all your representatives know each other, sir. I don't know if your representatives have introduced themselves to each other and who's actually showing up.
Yeah, she went lawyer on him because she's a lawyer as well. She like, I don't know who you are, what your intentions are. I know about your past. I know about the situation. Like, she knew about everything. Like, Kyra had shared all the information with her, and we're not 100% sure that you're going to be the one for her.
But Kyra's mom, who she said that I can't see myself going forward with the guy if my mother is not feeling him. Her mom liked AJ.
Her mom was feeling him.
Yeah.
Mom was like, this is what Kyra needs. Someone kind of to go back and forth with a little bit, and that's not, I don't want to say he's the word weak. who's not easily given into her needs or her wants, but somebody who kind of can have his own independence, have her independence, and they can work together to meet some needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get to the final, the final decision.
And we see Kyra come in and AJ's on the piano and he is playing a beautiful song. And she's like, oh my goodness. He was like, you said you wanted me to play for you, so I'm playing for you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he lets Kyra know that I choose you. And like you said, he actually tells her, I wrote this song that I'm playing, and it's called I Choose You.
I Choose You.
Eek.
And boy, big eek right here. Sets you up for failure type deal. And so Kyra goes in there, and Kyra's talking. And she was like, you know, well, you know, I really like you, but at this point, I choose me. What? My mouth, I kind of felt where she was going. She chose her. Now, rewind this a little bit.
I'm not sure if we know each other well enough.
Yeah, but you gotta rewind this, because this is what she told Jason. This is what she told AJ before he switched his decision. She told AJ this. So I really don't blame Kyra. I blame AJ. Now, AJ said in his vignette he went with his heart. His heart told him to go with Kyra. Mm-hmm.
Because he felt like, again, we had our interaction before. We dated before. And here, it was like, it was a second chance. When they talked to his mom, he said the same thing. You know, we had a chance to revisit trying this again. And so that was his thing, you know. I went with my heart. Like,
he said he went with his gut.
Yes.
His gut.
Sorry.
Well, your gut ain't your heart, brother. Because, again, I just think because she was still indecisive even when you sent her home. And
we're going back to the comment that you said before. This is not married at first sight.
It is ready to love.
You're not committing to marry this person. What you're committing to is to date them a little more seriously. And I feel like AJ and I feel like Jason. If at this point you can't say that you want to date me seriously, like,
what's the problem?
What?
Why are you even here? It is about dating this person. It's about getting to know them. It's about growing into love. It's about having open lines of communication, which y'all guys already dated before, you know, for a little bit, for a one date, whether it stood you up or not. So you're getting to know him, and now he sent somebody home.
For you.
That he was in tune to him, that was ready for him, that was wanting to go him, because it was the handhold. He felt something holding her hand. It was kind of like when Alexis had to send, who was that? Was getting ready to send AJ home. Mm-hmm. And AJ pulled her closer and pulled her tight, and she couldn't really do what she was supposed to do because she was so entangled with dealing with him. I thought that was manipulation. And, you know, and so now you hear it reverse. She with the handhold, he's feeling the yeah, man, this feels good. You know, I think I'm gonna you know, I'm gonna keep you instead of going with going to Alexis. And you know, he said he didn't regret that, but I'm sorry. I call BS. He regrets that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he regrets
because
that.
Alexis was all into him.
Yeah, Alexis was all into him, and so he regrets that. He may not say it on camera, but when they say cut, production was over. He regretted the fact that he should have chose Alexis because Kyra didn't choose him. He chose her. Yeah. And she knew, I don't care, she knew she wasn't going to choose him.
She did.
She
and
knew.
Truth of the matter is, if it had been Jason in that place, she wouldn't have chosen Jason either.
I don't think she would have chosen Jason either. I think she was there to find marriage and not to find a long-term dating relationship.
I don't know what she was there for.
I don't, because at this point you had 8 weeks and you couldn't find, like you said, and we said it again, you couldn't find these people that you wanted to date with. It's about dating. It's about dating, getting to know them. It's not about marriage. And you telling both of these guys, or you told AJ, I don't even want to, what you basically said, I don't want to date you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to date you at all. And I thought that's BS on her part. She should have, look, if he committed and he saved you, at the end of the day.
I felt so bad for AJ.
date him. Again, I felt bad for him, but again, he wasn't true to his heart. So I don't feel that bad for him because he should have went with what he knew, not what his gut feeling, but what he knew and what he said, unless he was lying to Alexis. And a lot of people believe he was lying to Alexis just to save face to be with Kyra so he can make it to the end. And he got burnt. Some say, again, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You sent somebody home that was good, and you got your heart broken as well. And I don't wish that on anybody, but again, we'll see. And maybe we ask him, because coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, we ask him. So we have
on Sunday.
On Sunday, an interview with AJ coming up. So we'll ask the hard questions that you want to know about Kyra and Alexis. So, hey, that's Ready to Love for season finale. It was interesting, shocking at best, and it was weird because we kept 3 couples. We were supposed to only keep 3. We got the 4th couple, which didn't even stay together.
It still ended up with 3.
And still ended up with 3, which originally Tommy should have kept the 3 couples anyway. Because they was going to send AJ, I think they were going to send AJ home. Mm-hmm. Which Intel would have sent Kyra home, and it would have been down to the 3 couples.
Yeah, because for real, at the earlier point, she never actually chose him anyway.
Yeah.
She wasn't sure about it, so I wouldn't even count it.
But if you go back to last week, and we're wrapping this up, go back to last week. I think Liz or someone asked her when the women were deliberating, do you choose AJ? And she couldn't give a definitive answer. Mm-hmm. She couldn't give a definitive answer then, and I knew AJ was in trouble when she couldn't give an answer right there. Mm-hmm. Because after the dude saved you and you didn't go home, you should have said, yep, I choose AJ. That's my dude. We're going to be dating. That's the long-term guy. But nonetheless, I digress. Ready to Love Season 4. Regular season is in the books because we still have reunion.
Yes.
2 reunion shows.
It's going to be good.
Part 1 next week. Following week, Part 2. They're going to be very good. A lot of things are going to happen in reunion. Stay here as we give you more updates and more reviews.
Yep. So thanks for joining us.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the reviews, and we'll catch you down the road.
Bye.
Bye.